Oh no.
Sorry. All right, hold on, folks. I gotta remove. Oh, now it's going. Cool, thanks. I wonder if I can delete up here. I hope Dave isn't having issues. This one can be deleted. Here we go. This. UTS. That's our. Okay, so we still have 5 gigs. That should be in. I still don't see Dave here. I wonder if I can reload. My record button back. Okay, I don't know if he's having trouble. Usually he's listed right here. His camera. Let me send him an email real quick. Sorry guys, we're waiting on Dave. He might be having technical issues. Thank you for your support. I super appreciate it. Let me. Fender, lay down and be quiet. No emails from him. What email did I send to him from? This one? Sent. Oh, here we are. Hi friend, we're here. Let me know if you're having difficulty coming in. Okay. I'll just wait on the email from him. If you want, we can just start with other segments. Yeah, because he's not even he's not even on. All right, friends. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I knew nothing could be simple.
Yeah, it was going too well.
Nothing can go smoothly around here.
Weird.
That's all right.
Angle.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
welcome
to episode 9. We have a very special guest, Brave.
Oh my God! Right on cue.
Woo! I just
name and he appeared. Maybe we have to say his name enough times. It's like a Beetlejuice situation.
Oh, sorry, I can't see your. Gwen, take it. Yes, it has been forever. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to see you. All right. So let's add this brilliant mother effer. Hey, can you hear me? Are you good? You can't hear me? No. Maybe it's the microphone. What if I'm scared.
Hang on.
Oh, I can hear you. Oh,
He's gone.
it might be my microphone. Maybe I didn't have the volume up. He's probably troubleshooting his devices. Do you guys have any questions for Brave Dave? Do you follow him? Or did you, I should say, because he's no longer on social media. He retired.
I should be a little bit over. Huh? What's this?
What's what?
This. That little, the vertical square.
The vertical square? What do you mean?
Yeah, like I'm not in it. This one.
Oh,
I need to scoot closer.
I probably won't use that footage, but yeah, if you want to center yourself, it's always helpful. All right, let's try this. Oh, there's a caution symbol.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? What does that say? Signals not available when both cam and mic are turned off. That was weird. Can you
Well, I
hear
had
me?
this really cool setup for you guys, and then it just didn't work. So
Oh, man. Best laid plans.
yeah.
All right. Let me get in position here to give you a proper welcome. Welcome, Brave Dave.
Welcome.
Oh my gosh, we're so
Hi.
privileged to have you. He doesn't do social media anymore, guys.
Yeah.
But he's still. Oh, thank you for the gift. That was so sweet. But he has graced us with his presence. Because we're privileged.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave. So good to see
You guys
you.
are my friends. I'm happy to be here.
Aw, we love you. So, do you want to talk about why you left social media?
Sure. So I just didn't like it anymore, and that's like that's a really like boiled down reason, I'm sure, but primarily I tell people the same thing all the time. They're like, what do you recommend? Like, what's the quickest way to grow? And what would you do, starting off? And what are some strategies? I'm like, before you do any of that, you need a reason to be here. So you know when it's time to leave, because social media is constructed in a way that there is never an end game for you. Your job is to do this. If your job is to get every follower you possibly can, that's the world population that is currently online. It's not going to happen ever. So you always have this unattainable goal of growing infinitely. And that can't be your goal. Your primary purpose for being on social media as an influencer can't be to grow indefinitely, because you'll never do it. So I set a goal for myself when I joined. Initially, I joined because my wife said, I think you could do funny skits. And I was like, okay, so I did it. And then I had some success, and I said, you know what, how about we make a different goal? And I said, I want to see how well I can do with like the least amount of effort, like just as a hobby. And it did good. So I was like, okay, people seem to actually care about what I'm doing. So I'm going to do this because I feel like I can help people, and I'm going to do it until I find an alternate way to help people more than just on my own with my phone. And when that happened, I was like, great. I accomplished the goal that I set out to do, and I still didn't quit. I just continued to try to do both things at the same time, and realized I wasn't enjoying it anymore because I'd surpassed my own goal that I was supposed to do and didn't leave, contrary to my own advice. So that's my recommendation to anybody, is because if you don't, this industry will eat you up and spit you out. You have to make a decision of when am I supposed to not do this anymore? Because you'll either do it until people don't like you, or until you hate this. And I didn't want to hate it.
No.
So I had accomplished what I set out to do, and I didn't have any reason to be here anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no matter what you put out, we love it. So there's just that. But
Thank you.
that's wonderful that you actually had a goal. I think most people don't. Did you have that from the beginning, or was it like, oh gosh, I'm getting traction, I guess I better figure out what the heck it is that I'm doing?
Yeah, it developed over time, especially in the beginning when there was actual traction, because I remember thinking back, there was a video I'd done with my dog or something. It was the 8th video I'd ever done. So I went back to scroll because I remember that was like a hit of drugs, whatever that was. So I was like, I want to go back and see what that felt like. And it was 50 likes. And I was like, okay, so obviously my standard for success has changed over time, right?
Yeah.
So when I realized that there was actual traction that was getting me places, I said, I can't do this forever, because as I suspected, once you have a video that goes viral once, anything less than that is just I accept that. That's okay. That's good enough for me. And that's a weird feeling when you jumped out of your skin when 50 people liked a video, 4 years ago, to now wondering, why can't I just get a video with 1 million likes? Because that's not normal.
Right.
So when I started having those feelings, I realized that if I didn't establish some sort of barometer for how I was going to monitor myself and how long I was on here, that it would just end up not good. So that was established over time. And also because those kinds of results and how you react to those results, I saw in my life all the time. I'm 5 years sober, and I saw the same pattern in addiction that I saw in social media, which is not new to anybody. Everyone is aware that there's, digital addiction out there. And even in the end, I was like, well, I could leave social media. I just choose not to, which is the biggest addiction trope out there. I could not drink. I just don't want to, know, and that's what I was doing. I was like, I did what I was supposed to do here, but I don't know. I'm just going to keep doing it because I'm supposed to, I guess. And that's not a good enough reason for me anyway. I think everyone should have their own secondary and tertiary goals with why they're doing this content. You guys obviously do. And that's what I would recommend to anybody starting off.
Yeah. Congratulations on your sobriety. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice work, man.
Yeah.
That was some hard work.
Go
ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, there's also a bit of pressure that comes along with success when you start to see things sort of pick up. At least this is what happened to me with my other podcast, where I just started recording it in my closet as a way to sort of process my feelings when I was getting diagnosed and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if anybody will listen to this, but it's helpful to me. And then I started getting more and more listeners, and people emailing me, and people following me, and people being like, oh my gosh, I love your podcast. It's so great. It's helping me so much. And that was awesome. But also with that came now I have to keep making it good. Whereas before I could just get on and be like, I'm not sure if anyone's going to hear this or like it. I'm doing it for me. And then it started becoming I need to do this for everyone else. And I hope they approve of this, what I said, and I hope they liked it. And it just started feeling like a lot of pressure. And I still have that podcast floating around out there, but I haven't posted any new episodes in a while just because of life becoming busy, but also because it started to feel a little bit not what it started as. I'm wondering if you kind of had that sense too.
Yeah. So a lot of the pressure, similar to you, that I had was not from haters or trolls or anything. I got to a point where I accepted that those people were just part of the ecosystem. That for every 10 people that like my stuff, there was one person that was trying to paint me as the Antichrist or something. That's always going to be the case, It was when you have a video that does well, and then you're burnt out today, and you've got 7 other things in the real world that you have to do, and you go to check your phone, and there's 45 comments of people that are like, you'll probably never see this. I just need you to know how much you mean to me in your content, and you've changed my life. And if you could just reply and say that you see this, it would revolutionize the way that I think. And I'm like,
Yeah, and
man,
you're like,
oh,
oh, wait, what? Yeah.
That's so it to no fault of them. I remember before making content when I would say stuff like that on other people's content, but that largely the pressure came from feeling like there was so many people to talk to all the time. And I tell people frequently, I firmly believe that human beings were not designed to have access to this many people on a daily basis.
Right.
To have this much interaction back and forth on a daily basis. I know people that get overwhelmed at a party of 10 and have to dip out an hour early, and I'm communicating with over 1 million people.
Yeah, especially neurodivergent people. We were not, the neurodivergent folk were not meant for this.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's sensitive nervous system.
I get overwhelmed at the grocery store, and
and there's rules. We have rules like, make sure, accept the fact that everyone would be okay if you didn't talk to them, and ignore the haters and trolls, and set timers on your phones for making sure that you're not on too long. And there were all of these rules to make sure that we didn't do the things that we were told to do to be successful on it. And I was like, so we have all of these rules to protect our mental health, which contrasts to the things that we're supposed to do in order to succeed. And that was another like eye opener for me. Like, maybe it wasn't designed to be good for us. Again, I think we all knew, but the longer you're in it, the more you can appreciate it, once you're actually doing it.
Yeah, this reminds me of there was a presentation by the guy who founded Patreon at South by Southwest. He gave a speech about social media and what's killing it. And that was exactly it. Really was like because he started as a content creator on YouTube. He was a musician, and he remembers how ecstatic he was when he just had like 1,000 followers. It was like life altering for him. And then over time, like as these new platforms came out and they became monetized and brought on advertising, and the algorithm started changing, it became less about the content and the art and more about gaming the algorithm. And for me, that's really sucked the wind out of my sails as a content creator, because I'm not intrinsically motivated by the algorithm. I couldn't give two shits about the algorithm. But if I want my videos to be seen by anybody, I have to. And that's not cool. When I make videos, it's from a passionate place. It's from a place of, I care about this thing and I want to share it with other people so they have this information because I think they'll care about it. And if the algorithm doesn't cater to that, then I'm dead in the water and my content doesn't get seen. So there's that pressure alone just from the algorithm. And then there's also, you have like TikTok system messages. Oh, you better, get 5 more subscribers or else, another leaderboard contest every 5 days. That join this contest and work your way up the leaderboard, and you got to get so many likes to get on the leaderboard. Ugh. How do you even?
It's out of control.
Yeah, it's out of control, and it's just become, like you said, about just the engagement. It's just about the numbers. And so anyway, the founder, his bottom line was, go back to making content because you love it. Go back to making the content that you love, because there is a small core group of people who are invested in you as a person and all of the things that you believe in and all the things that you're passionate about, and not just the big viral videos. And like, what at the end of the day, what do all those views mean anyway? When you have that core audience, that's what's most important, and that's who's going to resonate most with your content, and you're just going to get more bang for your buck when you focus on your message and the people who truly really resonate with your message. because making content to appease the masses is just impossible and pointless.
Yeah,
What
I mean,
becomes your message
we
at that
are
point?
paid monetarily, yes, but that is a side effect, in my opinion. You know, we are currency for social media. This all sounds very morbid, but I mean, you asked, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, we're creators of the currency for social media platforms to pull in companies to be able to do advertising. So they have to be able to pay us to motivate us to make the content, right? So they do pay us money in some form or shape, you know, with the offering brand deals and having the monthly creators fees and stuff. But ultimately, the monetary side isn't making people full time, so they have to have emotional currency, which is followers. You know, and they encourage you to make content that's going to pull in followers that ultimately don't have any bearing on how well your content actually does. Ask any creator over 1 million followers; they'll tell you that they are not viewed by 1 million people. They're just not. I was a full-time creator and followed 4,000 people. I didn't watch 4,000 people every day. I watched maybe 7 people a day.
And a lot of times they were in your For You page.
Yeah.
Not even in your following.
Yeah.
No, exactly. And that is the emotional currency used to propel people forward. Because again, you know, the idea of having more followers is ideal for a lot of people. But most of the time, if you ask people, you're not all of your followers are seeing your stuff anyway. So why do you want more of them? They don't really know. They just know that that's good. That's a good thing to have. Is the bigger the number, it means something. I'll figure it out when I get there. Well, a lot of us did figure it out and then realized that when we got to the other side, there was nothing growing here. You know, we went to the other side of the fence and there was just nothing there. And it's a self-worth thing. When you get there, you start to struggle with it and say, okay, well, I'm here. I have all these followers, but I'm not succeeding bounds and bounds like I see other people. So maybe there's something I'm not doing right. So now again, you're trying to, you know, appease these algorithms and figure out what the content is that you're supposed to be making that you're not. And I just didn't like it. You know, I had no reason to be here.
Yeah. And a lot of us also work full-time jobs, and a lot, I don't think when people see like 500,000 followers, 1 million followers, they assume before social media, we were so used to like celebrity status of like anybody we saw on TV that we recognize, they're rich. That's automatically an assumption. And so now that's kind of translated over to social media where you see, oh, they've got 500,000 followers. They've got 1 million followers. They've got 5 million followers. They must be rich. No, very much not.
And I think that is why some people start trying to, like, there's that whole aspiration to be an influencer by a lot of younger people, because they do think that's how it is. It's like, oh, well, if I get to this status, then I'll be able to make a living off of this thing. But oftentimes, people just can't. It's really harder to do that than it's made out to be.
Yeah, it's true. And even if you get the traction in the beginning because you had this mega viral video and you're getting so much engagement on your profile, that fizzles out. It's not forever.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And a lot of work, a lot of upkeep.
It's a full-time job. To do anything well is a full-time job. And so to be an influencer and to work full-time, it's a recipe for burnout.
And you have a family, yes.
Yeah.
You have the children's, which I love your content about your kids and being a parent and stuff, because I'm also a parent and a neurodivergent parent experience with, like, it was just all rang so true to me and I loved it so much. But yeah, I totally, and of course that leads me to saying like, oh, I'm so sad you're gone. But
there's gonna be a lot of that in this. Sorry.
I totally get it though. Like I really, when Courtney was like, oh, he said he's leaving social media, and I'm like, yeah, that tracks, because I know a lot of people who have been in the social media realm and have had a bit of success, and then it inevitably, I don't know if there's a lot of longevity in it for most people, for one reason or another. I think
sometimes you don't get the choice. You know, I've seen on more than one occasion influencers that are, I mean, people like Kabi, that's like, he's like top 3, if not the most followed influence in the world, where people say, we're done with Cobby. We don't want to see him anymore. Or, people that have 10 million followers that say it's kind of cringe that you're still around at this point. I'm like, they're doing fine, but there's like it's like a timeline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like if you use a meme too much and they say, well, we don't like that meme anymore. That's what influencers are typically turned into. It's like this identity. And even sometimes just time itself. And people are like, I'm just kind of fed up with seeing your face. Sometimes you don't even get to choose when you're done. And it just happens on its own. And, would I be saying all this stuff if I had 7 million followers? Who knows? But I knew that, I knew that it was that time for me. And I still miss doing it. We'll be sitting at the kitchen table and one of the girls will say something funny. And I'm like, I really wish I could like make a video about that. That happens very frequently. But in the same vein, in the course of the day, I'll pick up my phone and access one of the apps and realize that I don't have a reason to be there. I did it because it's muscle memory that around the afternoon, I'm supposed to be on here. Yeah. And then I look at my phone, like I was like a sleeper agent. I'm like, I don't know why I did that. And I'll put it down. And pick it up so, there's little pluses and minuses. I will say that my screen time cut down dramatically, which was interesting.
Does your family notice a difference? Do they voice the difference to you?
No. My wife said, well, that's kind of a bummer. You were like, that was like what I get to say about you to people. She's like, I had a famous husband. So she's like, now you got to go do something else cool. I'm like, okay.
What the heck?
But I tried very hard to compartmentalize in some way, so they don't mind either way, because for the most part, I was making content during the workday anyway, because White Flag knew it was intrinsically important for me to be relevant in some way to continue to help them. But it got to the point where even I asked them, I was like, do you care if I'm not on? So, and they're like, no, we don't care. It was just kind of a bonus that you were, but it doesn't, define your role here. So I tried hard to compartmentalize. And I think that's probably another reason why in the end I started to do less well, was because I just refused to let it eat into time that it could have. And the times that it did, I felt really guilty about it. So I'm like, I don't have the time to do it. I don't have a reasoning behind it anymore. And I'm certainly not going to create more opportunities for myself to make content outside of what I'm already doing now. So that was another barrier, I think, was, to what point can I push my time and my energy and my limits, making content about how to feel like you're being a better parent, and then turn around and not do those things. I was like, I'm not going to lie and say that you should spend less time on your phones and more time with your kids as I make a video at 6:30 p.m. So that definitely played a role into it.
Also, can we mention, since we all have ADHD, the dopamine aspect of this whole thing? Because I think for me, there is a bit of, the new shiny thing aspect to certain things, many things that I do, where it's like the new thing that you're doing is so engaging and intriguing and exciting, right? And then the longer you do it, the more you're like, okay, like I'm still doing this, but it doesn't have the same chemical effect in your brain as it used to.
Yeah. And I think the algorithm and the apps themselves have worked against themselves in that manner. They've made it less appealing and less fun to do the work. Because for me, like, I still get, like you said, little ideas for videos that inspire me, and I am reeling for a minute. And I've been doing this for almost 4 years or something. But then as soon as I get to I got to do hashtags, and I got to make sure the title's right, and I got to make sure that I do the captions and I got to edit it just right so I can capture people's attention and not have it drop off after so many minutes.
Oh, that's the fun out of it.
Man, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
tell us. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to shift the conversation. So
do it, or otherwise I'll just talk forever. So
we don't mind. Tell us about White Flag and what you're doing now.
Yeah, so White Flag was a majority of the reason that I left, because I told myself I wanted to find something that let me help people more than I was helping people already. And White Flag had found me from one of my videos. One of the employees at the time had been following me and said, "Hey, would you be willing to do some content for us?" And I did. I did it really cheap because they were a startup, and they were so appreciative of the content and supportive of me. And what they were doing seemed cool. It was an app that people could get on anonymously and just talk to one another that had similar struggles and issues, and relate to each other without feeling pressure that someone might find out who you are, which I was already in AA at the time. So anything anonymous, in terms of like anonymous peer support, was like already like hyped up, in my world, to be something super helpful, because it had helped me so much already. And I asked them, I was like, "Listen, I'm currently looking for a way to not do this full time anyway. Are you guys, looking to hire?" So they had me on part time as like a media creative. And I knew going into it, I was like, I'll take whatever job they give me, but ultimately I'm going to show them that I really care about what they're doing here. So that's what I did for the course of 1 or 2 years. I showed them that I really cared about their mission and worked hard with them. And I'm their chief content officer now. And just I'm just so happy to put all of my time, full time, into this mission and this movement. So again, for anyone that doesn't know, White Flag is an app. It's on Android, or it's on Google Play and Apple Store. It's called White Flag app, and it is a digital space where you can communicate with people for free anonymously. You select things about yourself. So for me, I would put that I was a former addict and I had ADHD, and I'm a dad, and I'm in the queer community, and anything else about me that makes me who I am, whether it's just my background or things that I struggle with. And then at any given time, I can raise my flag and say, "I'm struggling with this," and then select the thing that I'm struggling with. Or I can look through the list of other people currently struggling and answer one of their flags. So it's a two-way street for support, and people that raise their flags end up being flag answerers, and people that answer flags see how much it's helpful and end up becoming flag raisers when the time is right for them. So it's been a really cool program to be a part of. And that's what I'm doing with all my professional time now.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, I love that.
I really like that, especially because there's a narrative around like, check on your people who XYZ, or like, if you know someone that suffers from depression, make sure to check in on them. And the thing is, like, that's it, it's helpful for some people. I know personally, when I'm in distress, I don't want you to check in on me, because now I'm obligated to respond, and I'm obligated to take care of your feelings and make sure that you don't worry about me, or I don't want to put anything heavy on our relationship, because I don't want you to get sympathy fatigue. So don't check in on me, because and likely I won't respond, because I don't have the spoons to respond the way I want to respond, which is like heartfelt, "Thank you, I love you, I'm fine." But I just don't have any spoons to do that. And I'll just like, well, I'll wait until I do have the spoons. And then of course I never do.
It's kind of ironic. They care too much. It's too much mental energy to make sure that someone feels okay with how bad you feel.
And some people just aren't comfortable. I know I'm a person who, I'm working on it, but I'm not really comfortable sometimes sharing openly about things or hard time. Like, I always kind of want to be like, "Oh, I'm okay. Like, I'm fine." Because like you said, you don't want to burden other people or seem like you're, don't have it all together or whatever the thing may be. But it's like, it's hard sometimes to be like, "No, I'm not okay."
Yeah.
And I think,
like, how much do you want me to dump on you right now?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think having a space like that is yeah, I'm like trying to think if I've ever heard of anything similar, and I haven't. Like, that's a really good idea.
I did hear of one that was made for veterans, and I really applauded it. And my note to him was, I wish this was available for everybody.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, this
Yeah,
is
and
great.
that's what we found out. That's like, you know, AA is great, NA is great. There's lots of addiction recovery programs, but some people just are anxious. Why do they have to, be addicted to something in order to find peer support in an anonymous setting? That needs to be a universally available tool to anyone. It's been proven for centuries that it's a helpful, accessible tool when provided. And all of those reasons you guys gave are reasons that we hear back from people, and they say, I never talk to the same person more than once. Because you can create trusted connections, kind of like friends, but just have people that you keep in contact with consistently. But there's a lot of people that have raised their flag 30 times and have 30 different conversations because they feel that guilt of not wanting to be a repeat offender, for lack of a better word. They don't like the idea of reburdening someone. We've had people that
our sign was feeling that too.
Oh my God, it's like a sign from the heavens.
Sometimes you just gotta drop it. You just gotta drop it and say, I can't hold this up anymore.
Oh my God. Whoa. Okay.
But there have been people that, and I'm one of them, that feel like they can't tell anyone about what they're feeling because they will understand themselves the best. And any other advice or support that someone else is going to give will be second rate to self-therapeutic methods,
Yes.
And that is just a symptom of not having access to people that feel the way that you feel. Those people 100% deserve to feel that way when everyone you've communicated with has nothing to do with the thing that you struggle with. Of course, their perspective will be inferior, for lack of a better term, because they don't know what it's like to be you. That's why we have tens of thousands of people now that may feel like you do, and you deserve to go and see if that's out there for you.
I think connecting with people who have a shared experience is really therapeutic in and of itself. And like you said, talking to someone, I'm sure we've all talked to someone about a problem, and that person we're talking to has never experienced that thing, and they start giving advice, and you're just like, they clearly don't understand what's happening. It comes from a good place, right? But it's like, I'm not going to follow any of this advice. This conversation is pointless. And then you regret even bringing it up, right?
And you're absolutely right. It's because the environment that we know that person in is not a mental health environment. So why are we expecting them to be an expert on something that didn't start the relationship to begin with? But I think that when you talk to somebody the difference in the experience between talking to someone who's just giving you advice and talking to someone who's been through it and sharing their struggles is it shifts from being a flaw into a struggle. And flaws need to be fixed and need to be worked on when struggles are something that need to be listened to, accepted, accommodated. And I think that's a big problem in our society right now, is we see a lot of things that are struggles as flaws. And that's where a lot of the shame comes from with these disorders. And personally, I feel like one of the reasons I don't appreciate other people's advice is exactly what you were saying. But there's also another element of my brain will be hyperfixated in a mode where it will combat absolutely anything that you could tell it. If I'm convinced that I'm a shitty person and no one likes me, I could tell myself, that's not true. Look at how many followers you have who love you. Look at how many friends you have. And my brain will say, they don't matter. They're dumb. They don't really like you. They're just faking it. Or it's about them, not you. And it'll tell you whatever it wants to keep perpetuating that narrative. So it doesn't even help But
Yeah.
when someone else is struggling with it, it can be a discussion of, yeah, right.
And they don't know you. You know, it takes
Yeah.
away the bias of any kind of relationship, no matter how strong or general you might have with a person. You know, it happens to me all the time. That exact specific thing of all the like self depreciating issues that I struggle with, the discredit of other people's higher opinion of me is by far the most frustrating. I've submitted things for people to read and they're like, this is really good. This should be a thing that you do this with. And I'm like, they're not smart enough to tell me how bad it is. That must be what it is. You know what I mean? Like that specific thing, when you take away the bias of who the other person is and know that the only thing they have to go on is what you told them, and that's it. It's hard for your brain to refute that. You'll try, but you say all they had was information that they could relate to and still managed to tell me the same thing that my wife told me, or at least in supportive ways, you know. So the lack of all those other elements that our brain tries to use against us is super helpful, because that's another reason that I typically avoid support, you know, with people that I know, is that I'm just like, well, you're only saying that because blank. These people have no reason to say that. They got on here to find someone like them. I happen to be that person. And they said the thing that I told myself wasn't true. So that's a really good feeling and a really good point.
Yeah. And they can also just give tools of what helps them. Like in those situations, you know, if combating the narrative in your head isn't working, then distract yourself. That's what I do. I go and I watch a comedy video, because there's no point in engaging with that negative voice, because it's always going to win. So bring your attention somewhere else that's going to give you better chemicals in your brain, and then use that momentum. And so obviously that's not for everybody. It's just a thing that I do, but you know, that's a thing that I use, a tool that I use that could possibly help somebody in that situation.
Right.
And when somebody on the outside would never do that, they would always just tell you why not to think that, you know. But someone on the inside can go, yeah, that happens, but I get through it this way. And it may not be a conventional reason. It may not be a conventional method, you know.
Yeah.
So.
And that's another really good thing about white flag, is that if you talk to somebody and they say, this is the best advice that I have, and I'm here for support if you need it, and you're like, I don't know. That's it. There's no guilt to feeling like you're not going to talk to that person anymore. They don't care. It's fine. That connection wasn't meant to be what it needed to be. And you can answer 50 flags. You can receive answers from 20 flags, you know, if you need it. So you can set a limit to how many people respond to you if you struggle with overwhelm. But if you don't, I mean, as many people respond to your flag as you want can come in until you lower your flag. That was another big thing we did, was just because one person answers your flag, we don't lower it for you. Everything about the world of apps tells you that if you put out a call and you get a response, close the ticket. But that's not how that works, because a raised flag does not mean that it's a fixed problem when one person answers. You put your flag down when you're ready.
Yeah, that's great.
I love this so much.
I know, right? I don't know if anybody else has this experience, and this is why white flag is different, and I appreciate it. Suicide hotlines. So I would always get to that point, and the little angel on my shoulder says, the right thing to do right now is to dial one of those hotlines. I go, okay, fine, I'll do that. And I do it, and it just feels so, I usually hang up before anybody answers, because I think everything they say, they're just going to try to make me not. And if I can do that, hey, don't kill yourself. Okay. You know, and so everything that they say feels like there's an ulterior motive. It feels like it's not genuine. But when it's somebody who's been there or is there themselves, that's obviously genuine, or they would not be here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh gosh, I didn't even think about this. There's like maybe some serious flags being raised, right? Does that ever happen where it's like something like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are right, and it's unavoidable. It's even with the best of intentions, the best therapists, the best counselors, the best medical personnel, the best hotline, call center agents. We don't knock any of those resources because we are one of many tools that should be in your tool belt, right? All of those have their own purpose, and we hope that everyone has access to them. But again, it's just what your brain tells you, which is, I'm paying you to listen to me, and I don't know if I can shake that concept.
Yeah,
Or
it's your
your job
job
is to answer the phone when I call, and I don't know if I can shake that concept. Whatever it may be, no matter how good those people are, and good-hearted they are, that's something that's stuck in our brains. So having a platform where people want to be there because they want to be there is important, because it takes away that undeniable tension of why someone is taking the time to listen to me. We do on occasion get people that are further along in their distress than just peer support's needed for.
Mhm.
This should not replace an
Sure.
emergency hotline for suicidal behavior at all.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. But
Right.
if that's the case, having someone else there that might say, this is not just a conversation for you and me, is important, because a lot of those people may not jump on that train without that nudge to
Yeah.
say, this is not just a conversation you and I should be having. You need,
Yeah.
there's more here that you need to have access to.
And we care
And
about you enough to want you to do that.
yeah, and we have a report feature, right? So if you find a malicious actor or someone that says something horrible or whatever the case may be, we have a reporting feature for that. And we noticed as the app started growing that the reports started growing, and we're like, well, that's not good. But then when we dug into the reports, we saw that it was people that were like, I don't want to report this person and have them removed, but they're not in a good place and something could go wrong.
Oh.
So we took action to fix that, because we didn't want those people reported. We
Yeah.
developed an emergency button where the person could press a button inside the chat itself that said, I'm not trying to report them, but they need more materials. And we give them basically a package that sends them a list of everything that could potentially help them outside of this conversation, that says,
I love that.
I'll still talk to you, but here are X number of resources that may be useful to you. And it's
I love that.
everything. It's everything from generalized support, like the suicide hotline number, instructions on how to contact someone if you feel like you're going to try and take your own life, to more specific things like resources for LGBTQIA community members, resources for women that are in domestic violence situations. Because you'd be surprised. I know it seems obvious that you should call these people for this particular thing if you're in this particular situation, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't
Listen,
know it.
the huge chunk of my platform is informing people of things that they don't know. So
Yeah.
a lot of us are getting late diagnosed ADHD because we just had no idea to even look for it. So offering all of those resources is a godsend. That's wonderful. That's absolutely incredible.
And so responsible.
Yeah.
Because
sure.
you have to know that there are serious issues that are going to arise, and how you're going to tackle that. Because otherwise it would be pretty irresponsible to just let people be hanging by a thread with no way for someone to either report that or flag that in some way.
Yeah.
So I think that's what a good idea to put a little emergency.
And it's for both of
there.
them too. It's important for the person that needs it to get the information, but a lot of the complaints earlier in development we had were, I don't know what to say to that. I'm not sure. We have so many things in common, but they're doing worse off than me. I'm not sure what to say. So we needed to give something that gave that person some sense of power to be able to help, but also gave the other person on the end that actually needed the help the resources that they needed.
Yeah, it kind of is almost the same situation where like someone reaches out to you and is like, I need help. I'm in this situation, you know, as a content creator, I get people who email me and it's like this super long email of like, I'm in distress. I have ADHD and I don't know where to go and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, all of a sudden I've got all this obligation that I didn't ask for. And I'm sure like to be able to go, here's some resources for you is probably a weight off their back.
I can tell Melissa goes through that too. Yeah,
I have a lot of emails, and I feel bad because I don't get around to reading. I mean, you get so many emails, and some of them are long, and you can tell the person like really, like they need you to read it, and I'm like, there's so many though, and that's another part of it where it's like, oh, you have this looming sense of responsibility to people that you're like, I'm not equipped to fulfill this at all, or even to reply to all these people. It would take me so much time, and then you start feeling bad. And you're like, oh, what if I don't reply and it like something bad happens? And so
leave it to the professionals.
If anyone's emailed me and I haven't responded, I'm so sorry, but like go on the white flag. I might be on there lurking around. I like the anonymity part of it too, because not only does it make it safe, but I feel like anonymity is underrated today in our society. Like everyone's so, what's the opposite of anonymous? Anonymous. Like everyone's so, I don't even know. Is there an opposite of anonymous? Everyone's so anonymous. Transparent. Yeah, everyone. I think that being seen is something that people like. They want. It's seen as like as some sort of like you need to be seen. People need to know who you are. Like everything needs to be public. Yeah, level of approval. But like, I feel like being anonymous is kind of foreign to a lot of people.
Yeah, it really makes the space genuine.
Mm-hmm.
Because what's the point of being disingenuous? There is no. Your name's not attached to it, so you don't get any fame recognition for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
social media is peer support on its own anyway. But I mean, for instance, if Melissa posts a video and 50 people comment asking her questions, there's a decent chance that 30 of those people could just talk to each other and get the answers that they need anyway. So now Melissa's burdened with a 50-to-1 ratio, and all those people know who she is and don't take any account from the other people in that comment section because of the lack of anonymity. Whereas if she gets on White Flag, all 51 of you now have access to each other and might take merit from each other regardless of what platform you have. Which is another reason I was happy to make the transition, was because I was like, I don't know everything. There's people in my comment sections that sometimes say stuff smarter than me. So, all those people should have equal footing to be able to give support when needed.
Yeah, that's another thing about people reaching out and sort of sometimes asking questions, where I get a lot of people asking me questions about autism. And I'm like, I'm not an autism expert at all. Like, just because I have it doesn't mean I know. So people sometimes are reaching out to be like, oh, give me advice on this. And I'm like, I have no idea. Like, you're going to have to find somebody that knows more than I do, because I don't have all the answers. So when you're casting a wider net, there's a better chance that someone will be able to answer your question.
Yeah.
How many people are on the app? Do you guys have a number? I mean, I'm sure.
So there's been over 150,000 downloads, and give or take, we have roughly 10 to 30,000 active users every month, and that changes depending on how much we're reminding people that the app is there. We're how much we're pushing the app out to new people. Seasons typically also reflect a lot of usage. Obviously, we're getting into fall and winter, so I have no doubt that number is going to climb because obvious reasons. But right now, we're definitely in the tens of thousands that access it each month, which is great. And the more we grow, that number only increases, because the likelihood that someone finds someone to talk to gets higher and higher.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
that's really good.
A lot.
It occurred to me also when I was talking about like nothing working when I'm just in this mode. One of the things that does actually work when I'm in a downward spiral is helping other people. And so if I were to get on the app and with the intention of like raising my own flag, but then I ended up seeing someone else raise their flag and I help them, chances are I'm going to be much better by the end of that conversation, and I won't even have to raise my flag. Like a lot of times that is the therapy itself.
Yep. We get more complaints that people answer someone's flag. They say, well, someone raised their flag and I answered it, but then they didn't write me back. We get more complaints of that than we do ever of someone saying, you know, I helped them, but then they didn't ask how I'm doing. It's almost a guarantee. I'm not going to say it is a guarantee, but every conversation I've ever had on the app, and I'm more of an answerer than a raiser myself, because I feel the same way. Typically, I get something out of the conversation, regardless of what direction it goes. But every flag I've ever answered typically ends in someone saying, well, what about you? What's going on with you? Because it's not designed to be a one-way interaction, you know? Again, I firmly believe in therapy. I firmly believe in counseling. I firmly believe in calling hotlines that you need, but they're all designed to be someone that helps another person only. In fact, it's discouraged if it goes backwards. So, you know, almost every time I have answered a flag, someone says, well, it sounds like you struggle with this too. How are you doing? I'm like, holy shit. No one's asked me how I'm doing in like a month. Thank you. You know, that feels great.
Oh,
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's a great point.
I think also it gives people the freedom, the anonymity aspect, to ask or raise flags about things that they might be embarrassed about otherwise. Because sometimes there are things that you're going through or that are going on that you don't feel comfortable talking to anyone you know about that. Yeah. You might be like, I don't know.
You were talking about domestic violence,
or even like something more innocuous, but maybe it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, has anyone else had like pain in their butthole? Like, you know, something weird. Like,
I can't stop picking my hair out.
I can't stop picking my hair out. Does anyone else eat their boogers? Like, I don't know, something, something that might be distressing you. That's not asking for a friend. Like,
we've had somebody come out on white flag before, and I only saying because that's the only time that I actually know it's true, and I'm not going to give like faked anecdotes, but I can't imagine that they're the only person out there that didn't select, you know, that they were gay and hasn't selected that to share that information elsewhere out in the real world yet, you know?
Yeah.
So it definitely is, because I mean, there's things that, you know, I talked about all the time on my platforms that maybe I didn't bring up because I was like, they followed me for this reason, but I'm not going to talk about it because that would be unattractive in compared to, you know, the other more desirable topics that I discuss on a day-to-day basis that I do mention in White Flag, because again, it's a place where I feel like I can mention it without it being a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful, and I'm so glad to hear that. I feel like when someone comes out to you, it's like the ultimate, I want to say compliment, but it's a signal that you're doing something right. It's like what it says is that you make them feel safe. And so if you have people on that app coming out on the app, that's a great signal that you're making people feel safe where they don't feel safe other places. And that's beautiful. That's a net positive every time.
I'm curious, this is like a random offshoot and tangent, but how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay. See, so I can never tell how old people are. I'm really bad at guessing people's ages. And I'm like, is he like 20? Is he like 55? I have no idea. Because you have so I find that a lot of people with ADHD have this quality where they're simultaneously seem older and younger than they are. You have a very like playful, humorous quality, like just the way you speak and everything, but also you're so mature and you seem, you're insightful emotionally, like leaving social media the way you did at a time where, you know, a lot of people are striving to have what you had. but just having the self-awareness to be like, this isn't working for me anymore, and I'm not happy doing it, and that's that. Like, a lot of people wouldn't do that, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just curious how old you are, because I'm like, I think it's always kind of like a funny thing to observe in the neurodivergent community.
It's a very common.
We got that on
dynamic.
camera, right? She said on
Yeah.
fun and wise. Everyone heard
Fun
it.
and wise. You're like an owl in a top hat.
And honestly, I think that's enough for your wife to brag about.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So I was going to gently shift the conversation a little bit.
Gently.
Because I wonder, so doing White Flag full time is a very like serious thing. And I know as a fellow comedy lover, failed to schedule a stream. Oh, great. Okay. I know as a fellow comedy lover, you have probably, and you can confirm or deny this, you probably have a quota that you got to meet of fun, hilarious, silly, ridiculous stuff in your life. Do you still have a creative outlet for that stuff?
Yes. So I'll give credit to White Flag where it's due. Like, it is a very serious company in terms of what we're doing. But the leadership team, the senior staff, is very, everyone in this room would get along great with them if we all sat down. You'd be like, oh, you're one of those people that, like jokes about all of our mental faculties. Like, it's just, they could all be creators on their own, as much as they would deny that. They're a great group of people. But again, I was lucky that, content creation kind of checked both boxes along the way. So right now I've really gotten back into books, which has been nice. I read, I've read more books in the past few months since I've left than I've read in the past 5 years. Because great. I had the mental energy to consider it. So I've been reading books that I've found on my own, books that my wife has suggested to me. And I'm currently writing a kid's book.
Oh, nice.
It's, oh my gosh, it's so hard. I don't even know if we have time to go into all that, but it's creatively demanding. It requires a lot of dedication and practice and commitment. And luckily, it also requires a large amount of acceptance for rejection, a huge amount, because you have to find agents, and then those agents have to find publishers, and then those publishers have to decide if they even want to do the thing. It can take years sometimes. And all of the odds to get through each of those steps is not great at all. Right. So luckily, social media did prepare me with just never-ending streams of rejection to face them in the real world. But books and literature for sure have been a nice creative outlet. And an exchange from screen to paper has felt really therapeutic in its own way.
By the way, did you find a publisher? Because I have a publisher. I have a book deal, by the way, everybody. But I have a publisher that I think would match up really well with you if you don't already.
I have not. I've got a bunch of tendrils out, just kind of seeing what happens. But hit me up afterwards, because it's been a rough ride, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah, don't let me forget. My silence doesn't mean that I don't want to. I just have a disorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'll bet your kids are probably pretty hilarious too, because all my friends who are hilarious, their kids are entertaining.
So part of the reason I left was that the kids are getting older, and as they get older, I'm sensing that like phone age is approaching in the next several years, and I don't want them to be at a point where they got phones and like their friends had phones and they were like, is this your dad talking about how you used to eat your boogers? And so I want to like phase them out to where I'll never be gone, scrubbed from the internet entirely, but just dampen down enough to where it'll be less of an impact on them once they start getting their phones. So part of that was like not really doing a whole bunch of stuff about them on the internet anymore, but I have to I'll tell you a story, because again, it was one of those times where I'm like, if I just had an outlet to tell people this, it would be hilarious, but I never got to. It's a contrast in children that you see, like when you have a youngest and an oldest. We were sitting at the table, and I said to my oldest, I said, tell me about your days at school today. And she said, we learned about ecosystems and the environment and how relationships with animals all establish how things around us work. And she's 8, and she's talking to me about conservation and how she wrote in her nature journal about all the ways to protect the earth. And I was like, that is wonderful, 8. Now, 6, how did your day go? And she picked up a cup and she said, can I fart in this? And I said, no, don't do that. And then she did, and then she smelled it. And she said, I didn't do anything at school today. And that's the one that has ADHD, for the record.
If you have 2 children like I do and like you do, that's how it always goes. The older one and the younger one always have, those are the vibes.
Yeah.
The older one versus the younger one. Why is the younger one always so crazy?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm the fart girl because I have no working memory. If you asked me what I did today, I could not tell you. If you said, did you do this and that? I go, oh yeah, I totally did that. But to just get it off the top of my head, no clue what I did today. And so I got to fill the air with something, because you can't just go, I
literally fill the cup with something.
Like they are hilarious, and they wrote all their own material. I embellished very little in all the content that I did with them, and it still sucks sometimes where I'm like, man, that would have been a really good one to share with everybody, but it's like I get to live it, so I'm cool with it. I get to watch the TikTok videos real time, basically.
Yeah. What about, remember the days when social media didn't exist and we just had to experience our own lives in real time?
Yeah, and then they just became inside jokes for the people who were around.
Yeah, I do. I start feeling like an elderly person sometimes, because I'm like, oh, I miss the days. But I do kind of miss the day. Like some days I feel so sick of social media and the way things have sort of blossomed around social media. How it started so innocent, right?
Yeah.
It started as like a fun little thing, and Instagram used to be like, post a picture, and then people see the picture, and it was just like, oh, great, a sunset or whatever.
Keep up with your friends.
That person's lunch. And it was, like you were connected with your friends, but then there started becoming, it became a whole thing. And I'm just like, it was like insidious a little bit, because you almost, like, if I think back, I'm like, man, you didn't even really realize it was happening until all of a sudden you're like, damn, this thing has become its own thing. It's like a monstrosity in our society now. So I don't know. Sometimes I just long for the days where I'm like, can we go to Blockbuster and pick a movie?
Yeah.
And then I'll call my friend on the landline and be like, come over.
And how about mistakes? Exist. Like, kids can't make mistakes now without being filmed. Like, that's the whole part of being human. We don't grow unless we make mistakes. That's, since we're babies, you have to do things, and it's all trial and error. All of life is trial and error. And so if you're not in a space where you're allowed to be imperfect, you're going to have serious anxiety. And kids now, like, even if they don't have a phone, other people are always recording them. So, man, I do not envy growing up in this era, because everything is out for the whole world to see.
Yeah, we and that part is unavoidable. So we're looking in the future to, once we own a house, at some point in our lives. I only have one requirement, which is that it has some small plot of land, even if it's not technically ours, if it's owned by the city or whatever, that's just like forest, like a quarter mile worth of forest where they can just go do stuff. Because that was what I grew up in. We were in a suburb. I wasn't in Narnia or anything, but we had this small plot of forest behind us that led out to another portion of the city. And that's where, like, so many of my firsts came, in terms of like stuff that I found, and scary stuff and fun stuff. And I just want to provide them something like that because there's not a whole lot else, from when I was a kid that I get to provide that still, holds water today. So having something like that is important to me. But I feel you. I miss the smell of Blockbuster very specifically.
Oh my God, as soon as you said that, I smelled it. Did that happen to you? Like,
I never had a Blockbuster.
It's trapped up here. It never went away.
As soon as you said the smell of Blockbuster, I smelled it. Very specific smell.
Yeah, it's well, my video rental places had a smell, but it was like a cross between a library and a automotive shop.
That's kind of what Blockbuster smells like, actually.
Okay,
Yeah, and when you go there and you knew what movie you wanted to get, oh no, your phone's trying to call 911. Oh God, no, cancel. Oh,
yikes!
Why?
I think this might be pushing the buttons.
That was so random. I didn't even.
That's hilarious.
Your phone went to red alert. That was
it tried to. It was like, stop talking about Blockbuster. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, I was gonna say when you knew what movie you wanted to get and you would get there and it was all checked out. The disappointment of that.
And then you would have to watch a movie that you weren't excited about, and then you ended up loving it.
Sometimes. True.
Yeah.
That's why I'm with movie theaters. I'll just go to the movie theater just to go.
The nostalgia.
And then I'll find movies that I would not have.
I've been going to more movies lately. Yeah. Because I don't generally like movie theaters very much. It's a lot for me. But we did go see Long Legs. I do like a scary movie in a theater, but I don't know if you guys like scary movies.
I don't.
You don't like scary movies?
I love them. I've seen so many. That was the last one we saw in theaters, actually, was Long Legs.
Yeah. I would love to hear we don't have to bore everyone with our reviews, but like Long Legs had me feeling some type of way, and I was like, this movie is not what I expected it was going to be. I don't know. It was a very weird movie. Did you love it or did you hate it? Give me the synopsis.
I don't know. I left feeling the same way.
Or was it mid?
Well, that's what Nick Cage pretty much does to everything that he's in. I watch it, I'm like, holy shit. That was interesting. He's done a lot more stuff in his later years that's been I don't know, eclectic, I guess, indie. He's been doing a lot of more of these like super intense, horrific psychedelic things in terms of movies that I've really enjoyed, and this one was no different. So it wasn't what I paid to see, but I didn't feel bad that I paid to see it.
I didn't feel bad that I paid to see it either, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And when that happens to me, I get really disappointed.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happened. But the more I process it, the more I'm like, it wasn't bad. I feel like it could be one of those cult classic movies. It's just like a really weird film. So
this is actually bringing up an interesting topic of like the things that we get dopamine from, because I know a lot of our people love like scary movies and horror, and I'm so sensitive to that stuff that I have to basically watch like children's content all the time, because if I watch other stuff, it penetrates my psyche, and then I start having a lot of anxiety, and like I imagine scenarios that are informed by that. So especially before bed, I have to end my input on a happy note. And then another thing that this made me think of is how you really like spicy food, right?
Yeah.
Oh, me too.
I hate spicy food. I'm like, my mouth is on fire. That's pain. I don't like that.
Oh,
I think a lot of like understimulated people, ADHDers, I think they make up a good portion of the hot sauce seekers.
Spoiler alert, one of my answers on one of our segments coming up of things I'm currently obsessed with is that show Hot Ones.
Oh yeah.
Where the celebrities eat the hot wings of increasing intensity and they try and keep answering questions, and it's like the best thing ever. I don't like that hot, like where I feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack or die. But a good spicy food is
for good reasons too. There's lots happening in the background in your body and in your brain while you're eating spicy stuff that just flips all the right switches, basically, in terms of how our brains work. So it's not surprising at all.
And do you get that like when you hit a threshold where you're like gasping and sweating, or do you get that from just a little tingle?
It's somewhere in between. So if a 10 is like I've eaten like reapers and scorpions and stuff before, and that's too much. That's where it's instant regret, and I wish I could do that enough that I could get to a point that's sustainable. But again, that just feels like excess to me to get to that point. So like eating raw peppers to that degree and like the millions of Scoville, that's like, if that's a 10 and a 1 is like, like jalapeno flavored chips or something, I like to be at like a 6. That's my preference.
Nice.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I would say I'm the same. You get a little kick, but it doesn't negate like the flavor experience, because sometimes things are so hot you're like, I don't even care how this food tastes, my mouth just hurts.
yeah it happens in like Indian restaurants and Thai restaurants frequently, because they put on there, it's like they put it on there for the white people specifically. They're like, you can have it hot or extra hot or Thai hot, and then I'll say I want it Thai hot, and they're trying to help me. They're
like, you're pretty fair-skinned, my dude.
They're like, are you sure?
There's a little pop-up that's like, are you sure? You're pretty pale.
Yeah, I'm like, just bring out your forms or whatever it is that you need me to sign. So most of the time I can do whatever they're offering.
I don't like the ambiguity of the star system that some restaurants have for their spice. They're like, do you want a 1 star or a 5 star? I'm like, can you tell me what that equates to? Like, what does a 5 star mean? It's arbitrary if you don't give me a reference point there. So
yeah,
do better, restaurants. God.
Andrew Lopez is asking if spicy stuff is hereditary. I would bet, and I would bet that I just have more capsaicin receptors than most people, because I have tried so hard to condition myself. I live in Fresno. You can't get
oh yeah you're in Fresno.
And so and I'm like, I can't be like this. I have to be able to eat spicy things here. And so I've just tried to condition myself, and it's just not happening.
Some people can't hang with it. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I have a lot of capsaicin receptors.
Yeah, you're okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and that's important. I like that you even said that because it's not spicy isn't a flavor, right? Spicy capsaicin is triggering the sensation of heat, which is why people get like stomach cramps. It's because your stomach has a tongue, basically. It has its own receptors, its own nerve endings, and it's tasting spicy food, which is why your stomach cramps sometimes when you eat spicy food. And there's a reason why a lot of kids in certain countries that grow up eating habaneros from the age of 4 are cool with it, and others aren't, because there's conditioning, and there's things that are passed down. People talk about, oh, did you eat spicy food while you were pregnant? That might be why they like spicy food now. There's all that kind of stuff that plays into whether or not someone can or can't eat certain spicy food and for how long.
Yeah. And I do have a theory about, I won't get into this, but I think we talked last time about, because we went into the neuroscience behind neurodivergence, and I think that hypersensitivity of like the super sensitive nervous system, like I have really, really bad sensory issues. And I have a feeling that that's part of it too. But
it might be because I am more often understimulated than over. I'm more sensory seeking. So that might be why I like horror movies. I like spicy food. I like hanging upside down and spinning around,
except socially.
Oh, that's true.
That depletes you pretty quick, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends. Depends who I'm around, actually.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
anytime I go live, it fuels me, and I'll do it for 3 hours and get off way more energized than I started.
Yeah. It's what's demanded of us, right? Like I enjoy loud concerts, and there are very few other things apart from music that I enjoy to be loud. Hardly anything. for that matter. It turns me
Yeah.
it turns me into a grouch pretty quickly. But like when it comes to music, it can be like deafening, and I'm cool with it. And my wife is like, "This is awful." But anything else, I'm immediately trying to find ways to censor or silence some element in the room to reduce the noise level. So it's definitely which element is triggering that and what it's doing for us.
I think you actually mentioned that on our last episode because we were talking about the what's the word, dichotomy, the challenge of being ADHD and autistic, and like sometimes you like things and sometimes you don't, or you like them in some settings but others, but you use that same example. It's funny.
Yeah, it's like I have two different people living in my brain, and sometimes they fight. Sometimes they do not get along.
Sometimes they fight.
Yeah. Sometimes they do not like each other. So
same with music. Yeah.
What state are you in? You don't have to tell us the city, but where are you at, located in the country?
I'm in Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Home of Nikki Hayden.
I've never been to Kentucky, but I like the shape of it.
You win a giveaway if you know who Nikki Hayden is.
It's a pretty groovy shape, and we're
It is a good shape.
Neither of you said fried chicken or horses, which is like
Whoa.
I'm so used to that at this point. It's like the first thing I hear.
I'm vegan and I don't like horses.
Wow. That's so refreshing.
Yeah, I'm not a horse person either.
I'm terrified of horses.
Me
Not
too.
that I don't like them. I think they're beautiful. I don't want them anywhere near me.
I just have never connected with a horse, and so they're terrifying to me.
Oh, I got trampled by one, so
oh jeez.
That almost
I'm
broke my
allergic to them. It doesn't. I have no time for equine connection. I can't even be near one. So.
Yeah, they're terrifying creatures, but it's fine.
Do you know who Nikki Hayden is, or the Haydens?
The Haydens? Hang on. Who are they? Tell me.
Earl and Rose Hayden have 3 boys. Nikki, I forget his brother's names. Anyway, they're all motorcycle racers. Nikki is no longer with us, but I should have saved him for I'm So Obsessed with You.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised that I don't know that. Kentuckians are very like, it's probably the same as like South Dakota, where it's like if someone is from our state, we're very possessive over that because it's.
That's why I thought you would. It's because he was the best superbike racer that existed. He went through the AMAs and just blew them all away, and then went to the GP, the MotoGP, and went international. Anyway, I'll save it, but
Kentuckians are probably cursing me somewhere. That's probably my fault.
And his brothers also are famous racers. So yeah, I thought it's a whole race family. I thought for sure.
Wow.
I've let my state down. I'll have to work on it.
Oh man.
Owensboro. Are you familiar with Owensboro, Kentucky? That's
yes. Okay.
Okay. So there, you got a little.
But apparently they don't have a billboard that says home of the superbike racing family Haydens.
So you guys just got lucky in that you were both located so close to each other?
No, we knew each other before. I think we both got lucky in that we both had viral experiences. So we knew each other through Aerial Arts 2017-ish. And then during COVID, she had a podcast that got a good following, and I had social media, TikTok.
Okay.
Both based on our neurodivergence. And I approached Courtney being like, hey, we should collaborate. And then it sort of just like, it grew into this.
Grew, and I had too many ideas and turned it into a whole show.
I was like, let's do a podcast. And Courtney's like, yeah, let's hang things up. But we'll have to do a better job with the hanging of things up. But like,
listen, we couldn't have one go this smoothly. Some things had to get messed up.
Yeah, so we knew each other before, so it was just kind of a happy accident. But dang, you're in Kentucky. That's too far. I really want to like hang out and eat a spicy food and watch a scary movie. It's okay. You can come visit.
We do frequent trips to Colorado for White Flag. So if you guys ever want to do like halvesies, we can do
meet
that.
in the middle.
I missed the first part.
Colorado.
Colorado is where we're stationed out of for White Flag. It's It's where the owners and CEO are. So we make frequent trips out to Denver to visit them.
Ah.
So
I'm
we can do
actually supposed to be
or
there.
something maybe one time.
Oh yeah, I'm actually supposed to be there on the 15th for an ADHD coaching retreat, but I kind of flaked because I was in serious burnout depression mode, and I don't flake on many things, but I had to raise my flag.
Smart move.
You
Yeah.
got to. Yeah. Colorado's great. Denver's cool. My brother used to live there, but he lives in Texas now. But yeah, that would be cool. We could all kind of just like.
And my bestie's there too. I miss her.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, we should go there sometime.
Yeah.
Field trip.
That would be fun. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was wonderful.
Yes.
We love hanging out with you, and you're absolutely welcome on the show anytime you want. Please hit me up for that publisher, and then you can come on and promote your book.
Yeah. Just because you're not a big influencer anymore, you're always an influencer to us.
You're still an influencer in our hearts.
Yes.
Well, that is very sweet, ladies. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed my time hanging out. It was good to do something because I haven't really done anything like this since then, so it was nice to come talk to you guys about it. You know what? We'll make it an exclusive. This is the only post social media interview I'll do.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Wow, we love that. We are exclusive.
We are special.
Take that, TMZ.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate
it. Thank you so much. It was great seeing you. Ooh,
there goes my water. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh.
Okay. So,
how adorable is Brave Dave?
He's wonderful.
I love him so much. He was just as good talking IRL as in his posts or his whatever you call him.
Yeah, he's just sorry. He's just so genuine and relatable, and
he's just a good guy. You can just tell he's a good guy. Look at that sweet baby down there.
Oh, look at how good you're being. You're being such a good little peanut.
She is just a little peanut.
Are you okay, sweetheart? Do you want loves?
I wish you loved me more. I would give you some love. Okay.
So,
all right. Should we? Okay. Let's see. Segments.
These guys haven't been too chatty, but they've been very supportive. Lots of likes. And lots of agreeing. All right, friends, if you have, we have giveaways. Why do I look extra beauty filtery? I look like a Barbie right now. I'm like, what setting do I have on? Okay. The giveaway. What was that? I said if you could guess. My working memory is garbage right now. Okay, sorry. I guess we can move on.
What? I don't remember you saying that. My memory's not great either, though, so not reliable.
It was one of those. If you can guess where that's from, but it wasn't a soundbite, I don't think. Huh, okay, well,
okay,
whatever.
I don't know.
We could do a giveaway.
Yeah.
Are you guys? I don't know if you're active. Are you coming in? Are you staying? Are you listening? Do you want giveaways? Do you want fidgets? Do you want walnut snacks? Do you want
give a thumbs up?
Fun stickers? Anyone? Giveaways? Anyone?
Bueller.
Those who are listening. There's 5 of you. I see you.
There's 5 of you.
Are you guys ready for giveaways? You want free stuff? Or should we just move on? Okay. Well, I'm not seeing. Hi, Kaz the Klutz. Where are you? Are you in the US or are you international? I'm just here for the babes.
Oh, where are they?
Fidgets. Jorge wants fidgets. Okay.
Is it Jorge or George?
Oh, sorry.
Some people
do go by George.
I do like Jorge. Like, I kind of wish that was my name. I don't know why. It's fun to say.
It is, right? Oh, Brisbane, Australia. Okay, so you can get stickers. Unfortunately, I can't send you fidgets and walnut snacks because it's too complicated. It goes through customs, we get a phone call, it's a whole thing. But I can send you a little sticker because it just goes in an envelope. But Jorge or George, if you're in the US, I can. Oh, Bluey, yeah. Just feeling silly. Sorry. That's okay.
Silly's good. We like silly.
Also, don't be fooled. This is a beauty filter. I don't know what setting I had on it, but it's making me look like a supermodel. So, okay. First person to say that Jorge is fine, and yes, I'm in Texas. Okay. Beautiful. Q! Q, did you see your episode? We aired it this week. Q was featured in our Look What I Can Do segment with his art. Okay, so Q, it's Q-Sai, yeah? Q-Sai? Or is it a liquid you? Q-Sai? This week, I know you, it's already up. Go to YouTube. Yeah, so if you guys watch the episode that we just released, Q here submitted for our Look What I Can Do. It was an art piece. It was really awesome. And it had a really cool story behind it. So go watch it. Okay, anyway, giveaways. Oops, sorry.
I know, I kept tapping my microphone too.
Okay, so giveaways. We have fidgets, we have walnut snacks. So far I saw fidgets. So we can do fidgets and maybe a sticker or something. Number in my head. Whoever can guess the closest.
Okay.
Or should it be based on the interview we just did?
Were people...
Oh, like what's the name of the app? 7. Jordan's already on the number. I haven't even chosen a number yet. Okay, so who can tell me what the name of Brave Dave's app is? It's not his. He didn't start it, but he works for it and talked a lot about it. It's the mental health app where you can reach out to talk to other people who are in your same mental health state. It's always 7:42. That's funny. Anybody?
Name that app.
Name that app. Oh, you're just recording. You're not on social media.
No, yeah, not right now.
Anybody? I'm too late. Okay, that's all right. We'll try again. Okay, but now I can't do a number.
You can.
You're already...
Yeah. Just think of a number between 1 and 100.
Okay, got it. Okay. Just whoever's closest. Just shout out a number. Whoever's closest gets the prize. Oh!
Was that the number?
No.
No.
It's between 1 and 100. Oh, 3, 4.
Oh, hi, I like it.
That's cute. I like that. That'll be my next one. Anybody else? Guesses? 37. Anybody else? Anybody else? No one's hit it yet. Going once, going twice. Better get your number in. Okay, 73. Nice try. Q won because it's 52.
Oh, wow.
You didn't hit it, but you hit right next to it. All right, Q wins. But Q is international, so he gets a sticker. Who wants a fidget? I'll just give a fidget away to anyone in the US who wants one.
Oh, I can probably stop. Unless do you need me to be on?
Do I need you to be what now?
Oh, never mind. Well,
I think I've got all of our accounts covered.
Yeah.
Do I win by default for being in the US? I guess so, Jorge. All you have to do is say, yes, I want a fidget. Just waiting to see who wants fidgets.
The fidgets are really cool.
They are. Do you want to see them? The magnet ones? They're called
Magnet.
Stimags. Have you heard of them?
You should get me one to play with.
Oh, you know what? I haven't even been looking at our gosh dang comments here. What? How did I usually do that?
I don't know.
What? I'm so confused. Reactions? Maybe? No. Settings? Camera, guess, shortcuts. I don't understand. I usually have a thing that shows the chat, don't I? The Facebook chat? Oh, here, right here. With the chat bubble icon.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. Whoops. I didn't connect the chat for any of that. Whoops a daisy. Sorry, friends.
That's okay.
You know, we're always gonna have hiccups. That's the nature of the business. Okay. Where are my giveaways? Sponsors and giveaways. Okay, here we have fidgets. Okay, whoops a daisy.
Whoops a daisy.
All right, Jorge. I don't want any cool things. Jordan, you can have them if you're in the US. There's more than one. I have enough for 2 people. Thanks, Jorge. Okay, so these are Stimags.
I like this one.
The demo.
Like a mustard color.
They are little magnets, and they click and they make shapes, and you can bend them, you can click them, you can. What's that? Hold it. You can fold them. Wah!
They don't.
Yeah, they stick together. You can
stick together pretty good.
Do this with them, and I like them because they kind of feel like a clicky pen, but they're not like loud and obnoxious. I think we're still mutuals. I'm too old to waste. Oh, stop! No, you're not. I have plenty. So anybody who wants the fidgets who's in the US, please DM me your address, your shipping address. Also, Q, if I don't have your address, please DM me your address and tell me what you want, just so I don't forget. Just be like, hey, here's my address. I want fidgets. What color do you want? Jorge, Jordan. We have, look at all these colors. We have all the colors. Blue or purple. Okay, you got it. Just remind me in the comment, in the DM. Just be like, blue or purple snags. Blue or purple fidgets. Okay? Okay, friends. Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on to our segments. All right, hold on. Let me get my shit together. These are hard to put back.
That's just a smell.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, my armpits are sweaty.
Me too. It's so humid today. I don't know why. Okay, so I have Q and we have Jorge. And we have Jordan.
I smell really fresh though. I've been using that Loomy deodorant. Loomy?
Oh yeah?
It works
The
really
one that makes
well.
the vag deodorant?
Yeah, but I don't use that one. I don't know about that. Nobody's smelling my
The
vag.
store near me has those. The Loom or the Stimags? Yay, Jorge! I haven't won anything in a while. Maybe I'll put some stickers in there for you. Okay.
First segment, friends and followers.
Let me just make sure we're recording everywhere. We are. So we have our first segment, which is always friends and followers. Woohoo!
Yay!
Okay. Woohoo! I gotta remind myself of who mine are. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Okay. Mine is a person on TikTok. Oops, I just cleared my phone out. A person on TikTok who I really enjoy their account, but some people might not. It might not be their vibe if you don't like math. but I really like math.
I love math.
Math is like magic to me. I love watching videos of people doing math. It's
Really?
Yeah. And there's a lot of accounts out there that are based on that, but there's this one account, Math Guy. That's his name on TikTok, Math Guy.
Math Guy.
He'll solve problems, but he'll also show like cool little tricks on how to like figure out certain types of math problems that are really cool that might help someone who is not necessarily that good at math too. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a good account. I really love it.
I get dopamine from bending numbers, from just like quick arithmetic all day of like, I wonder how many calories I've eaten, how many steps I've taken, and how many this and that, and I'll just bend numbers all day of just like, that'll give me dopamine for sure. But I don't know about watching other people. Oh, Danica's here.
Is that my Danica?
Yeah.
Hello, Danica.
Hi, Danica.
It's my child. Math Guy. Danica doesn't want to watch Math Guy. She does not like math.
Cool. Okay, mine is Urban Farmstead. This is a guy who lives in the suburbs in Sacramento and has outfitted his, I think he said he has 4,000 square feet of space in his backyard, which is not much. That's like not, I don't think that's even an acre, right? An acre is what, 40,000?
I have no idea.
I don't have Alexa to ask. Well, anyway, it's not that much space. And he has a whole food forest and a garden, and it's all like synergistic to where the stuff he plants under the trees help the trees, and it's a whole like, it's like permaculture in his small backyard. But the small backyard looks like it looks way bigger than it is because of how he's done it. And he even has like I think it's a hot tub and a little patio area and a deck, and he's just made just an amazing space out of his backyard. And he gives great tips on gardening and growing trees and landscaping, and he's brilliant. I love him. Yeah.
That's amazing to me. That is not my strong suit. I'm good at keeping houseplants alive, but like gardening and outdoor stuff, to me, it's over my head. So I see people that do that kind of elaborate stuff, and I'm like, wow, yeah, that's incredible.
I'm very impulsive. I love doing outdoor stuff, but I will do it all wrong and kill a lot of things.
There you
go. Food forests are awesome, right? I'm going down a big rabbit hole, but I want to save this for my obsession segment because.
Does he do math and drag?
Does he do math and drag?
No, but is there?
Do you have one who does?
Yeah.
Do you know somebody who does Q?
I would love that because I love math and I love drag.
Super cool. I use Excel for everything. Excel's handy when you know how to use it. It's the getting to know how to use it that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let me know about the math.
Okay,
drag.
Q.
Okay.
Let us know if you have that. If you follow some sort of content creator who does math and drag, tell us because we're interested. He used his backyard space greatly. He probably used math to figure out the arrangements.
Yeah.
Good
I
point.
think there is a lot of math in landscaping.
Yeah, like a mathematician with drag queen. Who is it? Do you know, Q? Do you remember who the user is? We want to follow him.
Yeah, I definitely need this person. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, go research for us.
We won't say anything important.
Report back.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's also like, you can tell that I'm just going to make a bold assumption here because he's not said this, but I think that he worked in either construction or conservation or gardening or at a nursery or something, because he has he's a wealth of knowledge and he looks like he's been doing it a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second person. Okay, my second person is on Instagram, might be on other platforms, but I watch him on Instagram. His name is Jarrell Carter. It's JARELLCARTER, one word. So what he does is he'll find a fitness video on the internet, on Instagram, it's usually a woman, which is what I like because he's a really like buff, like built athletic man, right? And he'll find videos of women doing these like feats of fitness and he'll try and replicate that.
I think I've seen, does he do gymnastic stuff too?
I've never seen him do gymnastic stuff. It's mostly like stuff that requires maybe a certain level of flexibility or like a different type of fitness than a different brand of fitness than maybe like what he has going on because he's obviously very fit. His dog is often in the videos. His dog's name is Duty, and it's so cute. And he just tries and usually fails to replicate what these usually women. Actually, I think it's always women, and I like that vibe, first of all, of like this big, strong guy just like trying and failing publicly to do something that a woman can do. I think it's he's helping to empower the lady folk by being like, wow, these ladies are awesome and I can't do what they do. But the videos are also very funny and entertaining. And his dog is the cutest, Duty.
Duty. That's a hilarious name.
I love it.
I love that. That's awesome.
Jarrell Carter. Follow him.
Jarrell Carter.
He brings me lots of joy.
Q says, Cayenne. The username is at online kine.
Kine?
Kyne.
Kyne or Kyne?
Online. Huh.
On TikTok?
Jarrell Carter. Yeah. Oh, I think there's 2 L's.
Yeah, it's
Kine. Kyne.
J-A.
Online Kine.
Jarell. Jarell. Carter.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Zaz. Put 2 L's in there.
Is it TikTok? Kyne?
Okay, we have people talking over here. I hope they haven't left. Hello! Oh, they did give the usernames, finally. Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us if you're still here.
Kyne.
I don't know how many people are still on, but thank you.
I lost it.
I promise I'll check in more often.
Let me scroll down. Online. Oh, okay. Let me see. There they are. Let's
Did you
see.
hear that squeal of delight?
Math Queen.
Woo!
Oh my God.
That's
Thank
hilarious.
you
Hello.
for, yes, follow.
Okay, you'll have to report back.
Oops. I unfollowed.
Maybe they'll be your friends and follower next time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that. Okay.
Okay,
Who's
my
your second
next one is Jimmy Knowles. And I believe his username is Jimmy on Relationships. Now, this guy, I love him because he was a dude in a marriage who was not being a great partner. And had a rude awakening. I gotta keep that word in my head because I always lose it and I always come up with other stupid terms for it. He had a rude awakening that made him really take a look at how he was treating his partner and helped him really fix the things that he was doing in the relationship that were problematic. And approached a lot of the fallacies that we fall into in arguments and in our relationships, and debunks some of the banter that goes back and forth that's like he's not a therapist. I don't think he's a counselor. He's just somebody who speaks. He's like me, who speaks from experience. And gives a lot of insight because he's been there, and these are the things that have helped him change his brain. So I really love it. But it's one of those accounts where a lot of women watch it and want their husbands to watch it, but they never will because it doesn't hit their algorithm. So it's a little frustrating. Yeah. But yeah, if you, men and women, all sorts, and yeah, of all genders, it's very helpful. His the way he breaks down relationship dynamics is very helpful. And it's from a very humble place too. He understands each side. Yeah. And helps point out the trouble. Okay, so you did 2, I did 2. Okay. Still haven't made any videos public. Well, I'm gonna go find them. So we have the same water bottle. Oh, nice. I think I follow him. He's very good. Follow Jimmy on relationships. Jimmy Knowles. Okay. So we have our next segment, which is Mythbusters.
Bustin'.
Where we bust myths.
Bustin'. Okay. You want to start this time? You go first this time.
I changed mine. I'm trying to remember what. Oh, wait. Yes. Which one do I do? I know there was a third one that I thought of that I wanted to do more. Okay, maybe I'll think of it. I don't know.
You want me to go first?
Yes,
Will that give you time to think?
Yes, it will. Maybe I'll think of the other one too.
Okay. Are we doing two? Yeah, we're doing two. Oh, just one?
No, just one because we were explaining it. The short ones we do two.
Okay, so just one then. Okay. I'll do my first one then, which I think this is pretty obvious now, but I think some people who are less informed still think that this myth is true, is that all autistic people like trains.
That's funny.
It has become such a trope that like it's ubiquitous, almost like people are like, oh, autism and trains. Like, oh, if you're a kid and you have autism, you must like trains. Oh, if you're an adult and you have autism, you are autistic, you must like trains. But it's not a thing. So right. I think there are many autistic people who do have a fascination with trains, because otherwise it wouldn't have become such a stereotype. But it's a myth. Not all autistics like trains.
I can't think of anything that's 100% across all autistics or all ADHDers.
Yeah, true.
We all vary. Anything you can think of, we all vary. Trains, thanks Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. ADHD, I absolutely abhor trains. Yeah, I don't like trains either. My mom and my grandpa and like I've got a whole bunch of people in my family who love trains, and I'm like, I don't get it. Yeah. They're loud and I don't know, boring to me. Sorry.
I freaking love Sheldon. He is one of my favorite characters ever, autistic coded characters, but he does perpetuate a lot of stereotypes on that show, one of them being trains. So yeah.
But a lot of autistic people do like trains.
That's true. So he's one of them. So there we go.
Okay, I remembered mine. So thank you for going. So I think there's this, it's not really a said myth, like all blah, 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 you know, but there's kind of an unsaid misconception that I feel in society, and it's mainly politics, where if you, I want to use the trans thing as an example, and if you think it's inappropriate, you can stop me and I'll repair it. But like, just because someone is asking you to be respectful with either new language or your behavior or whatever, it doesn't mean that we're going to spew vitriol all over you if you mess up or if you don't. And so for like the trans community, I feel like a lot of the conservative view around that is, well, now you're demanding this thing on me and you're pushing it on me, and how am I supposed to keep track of all these things? And there's kind of an implication that you're going to get in trouble, or someone's going to hate you or get canceled because you used the wrong pronoun. And it's like, that's not it at all. We're just humans who just want respect. And so if you can, you know, try to use the right pronoun and oops, you messed up, it slipped because it's habit or whatever, I'm sure that most people are understanding of that because it's just a mistake. But if you do it intentionally to be an asshole, well then yeah, don't be an asshole. But that's just one example. There's so many, and I feel like it's most prevalent in politics, where we look at, like, when I did my PDA video, I got so many comments of like, oh, now we're expected to to bow down to all of your demands, and how are we supposed to bend over backwards for every little preference that you have? And I was like, you're misconstruing this video. There's no one in here who's angry at another person for not doing that. There's no one demanding that you accommodate their PDA. The video was just someone genuinely curious about the PDA's experience and saying, how can I help you? That's really all most of these things are. No one's really pissed off if you slip up and make a mistake, or these things. You're not expected to be perfect, and the people who do expect you to be perfect are the outliers and don't deserve your attention. So, sorry, that kind of became a hot take.
I think that was more of a hot take. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
was mine too lighthearted? Shouldn't I have been more serious?
No, yeah. So I wanted to put that out there because I want people to know that, to give themselves a break. Like, you don't have to feel so attacked. No one's really out to get you.
Yeah. True. Okay. Hi, cutie.
Okay, so that's it for this segment. I think that's it for this episode.
No, we have one more segment.
We do?
Mm-hmm. Sound bites.
Oh, we do. Oh, that was friends and followers. Got it. Okay, so we have another segment. This is a new one. Ready? Sound bites. These are little sound bites that run in your head as you're just going about your day. Whether you do something and it makes you say a quote from a movie, or there's a song lyric that always gets stuck in your head, or you're in some sort of situation that always sparks this one jingle. Those I call sound bites. So, and I'm going to designate one for a giveaway if you can guess the origin. For mine, at least. Do you have any that are hard to guess?
Both of mine are from the same thing.
Okay.
I think people will be able to guess.
Okay.
Especially, I don't know, maybe.
Go for it.
Maybe it's a.
We'll save
maybe
the giveaway.
People from my generation will probably be able to guess. So one of mine, I'll just say both of them because they come from the same thing.
Okay.
But like whenever, this is not when I say it in my head, I say it out loud, but whenever I see something that I really like or something happens that's like amazing or whatever, I'll say swing. Or like, oh my gosh, look at that thing, swing, swing. You know where this is from.
I do. In fact, one of mine is from that.
Oh my God, no way. We're so simpatico.
But you know what's funny is that I would say like a big percentage of my sound bites is from that same origin.
Uh-huh.
But that's never been one of them.
Oh really?
That's so funny.
No, swing, you'll have to
It
start
should
using
be,
it
though.
if you're like, oh my God, I love that coffee mug. Swing. Or sometimes Gray will be looking like extra good, and I'll be like, ooh, babe, swing. It's like, it's so universal. You'd be like, ooh, this taco, swing.
That's amazing.
You're eating something good. The other one is camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two. Camera one, camera two.
Okay, has anybody? There we go. There we go. Easy got it. Well, mine from Wayne's World is okay. Excellent. Anytime somebody says something that just like kills the conversation, there's a dead silence. It's okay. Excellent.
Okay.
Or says something that's like really bizarre or confusing.
Oh my God, that is the best movie. I'm gonna have to go watch it.
I feel like nobody gets it though, because every time I do that, it just blank faces.
Oh, those aren't your people.
Okay, so that's the Wayne's World. Now,
so we'll have to guess what your other one's from.
Okay, so my other one is hard to guess. And if you've been following my personal live sessions, you might have a leg up. I'll give you two from the same one. The one I use a lot is I will ruin you. I will ruin you. I will ruin you. I will ruin you. Anybody? Great, now I have more sunlight. You're welcome. Mine would be as if.
Oh,
that's the same one. That's from Wayne's World, isn't it? As
that's,
if.
No, that's from
And monkeys might fly on my
Clueless.
butt.
Oh, or it could be from Clueless.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's always like,
as if.
as if. Is it as
Do you
if?
say it with a Valley Girl accent?
Yeah. Or is it as if?
As if. And monkeys might fly on my butt.
Yeah.
Yeah. As if.
Anyone out there watching who hasn't seen Wayne's World, also go watch it.
I even have sound bites from Wayne's World 2. Wayne's World 2 was pretty good too.
I don't think I saw Wayne's World 2.
Okay. Okay, so
the blonde girl, it is Clueless.
Oh, okay. So my other soundbite from the I will ruin you, I will ruin you is human garbage. Human garbage.
I don't even, and you sent me the origin of this.
Okay, should I sing the song?
And I don't even remember.
Because it's tough. This is a tough, you kind of gotta be a cult follower. Okay. Talking it up on the Very Good Talk Show. Talking about politics. Talking about anything you want now. Anybody? Brother, ew. What's that? What's that from? I don't get it. I don't know that one. Q. Nobody knows mine? Human garbage.
No, what is it?
It's SNL.
Oh, it is. Okay. I
So
was thinking, is it from SNL? Because you sent me the clip. Because remember, we were talking about it. You couldn't remember where it was from.
Yeah, it was Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon did a show called The Very Good Talk Show, and Justin Timberlake always played it's the dudes from, the Bee Gees.
Oh.
That's why his voice is super high. Anyway, it's good. It's funny. They did a lot of
It's gonna be in my head now.
Talking it up on the Very Good Talk Show. Okay, so we gotta do another. So that's it for our segments. So that's the end of episode 9. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. Please stay weird in all of your weirdness. Like the phrase that I just used, which was very weird.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Love you. Okay, so we're just ending the episode. We're going to start another one. And we're going to do, good one. My name is Simon and I like to do drawings. That's like pre Austin Powers right there.
I know that one.
That was when Mike Myers was on SNL as a cast member when they were doing Wayne's World as a skit. Jordan, we're still here, by the way. We're gonna do another episode. I was just ending episode 9 because we have a bad habit of not saying goodbye. Okay. Okay, so we can do another giveaway.
I gotta pee.
Okay, good call. We are gonna take a break though at some point soon.
Oh, here, let me take off.
Oh, we're only at 2 hours. That's a new record, I think.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
My
microphone. Oh my goodness!
Got an angry bird. Okay, you guys didn't get my sound bites. Okay, I know I gotta think of one that you will get. How about that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude, if you know what I mean. Anybody? Please tell me you know that one. Anybody? Come on, you guys. I'm your Huckleberry. I don't know this. Peso, hi, good to see you. No, it's not from Mad TV. What is it, Jordan? You can win, that's fine. Just give you another thing. You don't want to win? Or are you just being coy? You don't really know it. Get my time machine to figure this out. listen, Jorge, these are ones that have fermented long enough to become part of our lives. So yeah, they're going to be old. Come on, you guys. This one's so dear to my heart. Bee Gees. It's not Bee Gees. That, Veronica Vaughn, is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude, if you know what I mean. Huh? Huh? I'll give you a clue. It's Chris Farley who says that. Might be too. Baby grew up in the UK. I think everybody saw this movie when it came out. It's a movie. It's old. They're still trying to figure one out. Oh. Close, Jorge. Close. Same era, same group of actors. That Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, dude, if you know what I mean. Well, not me personally, but a friend of mine and her got it on. Woo-wee! No, you didn't. No, we didn't. But, oh no, wait, what was it? All right, well, it's Billy Madison, guys, which is another big origin of my, it's on TikTok. What? For context, I had to Google Chris Farley, so, oh no! Oh, you're at a disadvantage, my friend. Most of my sound bites live in Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Dana Carvey, Mike Myers, Rob Schneider, David Spade. That's my comedy era. Okay. I thought that one was simple. Darn it. Oh, Jordan, I mix up Tommy Boy and Billy Madison all the time too. I don't know why, because I guess it's the same era. Okay, well then, what's an easy one? Hated it. Like the cast from Grown Ups. Oh, I don't think I ever saw that. That's with Will Ferrell, isn't it? Oh, Will Ferrell would be good. I bet I have some Anchorman ones.
I definitely have some Elf ones.
Oh yeah. 3 snaps in a circle. Oh yeah. Oh, Jordan, you're so close. You know this one because you're describing it. Hated it. Yeah, but it's not SNL. Try again. That's actually a soundbite from my hometown gas station. They can come from anywhere. Try again. Bonjour. Did I say that right? I don't know. Come on, Jordan, you got this. Homie, don't play it. Yes! Peso, yes. But it's the same actor and it's the same show. What are we talking about here, guys? Side note, Anchorman is hilarious and Elf is a classic. Step Brothers is great too. Yeah, I gotta rewatch Step Brothers because when I watched it, I think I was too tired. I don't remember it at all. Yes! Yes! Both of those. Okay, Peso and Jordan, you win. Peso, you're in the US, right? Do you want fidgets? Jordan, you gotta have something new. Do you want walnut snacks? Because you're already getting, I think you're already getting Stimags, right? You're already getting fidgets. Do you also want walnut snacks? And Peso, let me know if you're in the US. I think I've sent stuff to you before, right? Anyway, if you want stuff, DM me and tell me what it is you want and that you won and give me your address. Anything for participation. Or hey, you're already getting Stimags and stickers. So, DM me on this app. Just go to my profile and just like message me. You can also email me. Just make sure just give me some context, because if you just go, hey, it's me, and then give me your address, I'm gonna be like, what am I sending you? Aw, saws. Okay, good call. All right, we're gonna take a little pea snack break, and then we'll be right back. After these messages, we'll be right back. What's that from? Nickelodeon. I did one from my old local gas station, which is try again, because every time you swipe your gas card, try again. That's one that no one ever gets, because why would they?
Why would they?
Okay, so we're gonna come back. I'm gonna move to the U.S. for the sole purpose of community. Aw, cute.
You don't want to move here.
Okay. We'll be back in like 10 minutes. 10 minutes? You need 15? You're already dressed and eating. Let's do top of the hour. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we'll go 5 minutes early or whatever, but around 3 o'clock we'll be back. And back with a whole new episode. Okay? Okay. Bye for now. See you in 15 minutes. All righty.